Welcome to the Hearts of the Community with Jay.
And his brother Jew.
Or let me change my name down here.
Yeah,
I
you sing that too?
I'll do it every time before we start, and it never. And like, as soon as you hit record, it'd be like, nope.
And y'all know what's so funny about this? We both was like, we about to make this something we don't have to edit hella. Look at us.
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah, we ain't editing this shit. That's one.
No. First of all, thank you all for coming back. Those of you that have seen us, those of you that is your first time, welcome. Please subscribe, like, share, repost, tag, at somebody, tell somebody, because we're about building the bridge for that community. Shout out to my brother who I love dearly. That's a shout out. Do that count as a shout out?
You know it was coming up.
Can't even shout out my brother out.
Hey, but I love you too, bro. It's been a crazy couple of past weeks, y'all, but we still here, man, and that's because we got a community. And so if y'all going through anything, man, y'all reach out to us, bro. We always here to talk. That's one thing about both of us. We will talk. If there's any topics y'all want us to touch on, if there's any things, we get a lot of viewers from shorts. This gonna be a short right here. We get a lot of views from shorts. We welcome y'all to the family, man. Bring your ass over. That's two. We love y'all. And we want to just keep growing, because this is something where we believe the world needs, especially during this crazy time of division right now. So I'm gonna hand it back to my brother.
I just want to give myself a shout out. That's 2 or 3, but this lighting, I'm in a different room today and it's impeccable. I never knew I looked this good. I know I look good, but this is a different type of good looking. But
he's a lunatic.
These are always the introductions with us getting a feel for things. But what I want to talk about today is Aretha Franklin, Respect, right? Rest in peace, Aretha Franklin. And then I also want to mention with this point, I still play Motown records when I DJ, right? And that record Respect by Aretha Franklin is very much known by even the youth. Middle schoolers, elementary schoolers, those elementary school, not so much, but I make it my habit to teach kids music. So it's like, if you don't know about it, you're going to know. Yes, sir.
Shout out, Are We There Yet? That's where a lot of young niggas know it from.
2, 3.
That's we going crazy right now.
No, you going crazy.
No, you're at 2 or 3 shout outs, brother.
You at 2 or 3 shout outs and 3 cuss words.
Who I shout out?
You shout out me first. Remember we went like this?
I don't get shout out counts. I get cuss word counts. You don't get shout out counts.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Pew. Okay, cool. All right. So but we want to talk about respect today. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because it never fails. Okay. You know what? Shouts out to Dad.
This guy. I mean, I don't think we're 5 minutes into the video. We're almost done with our
Shouts out to Dad. So look, the reason why I say shouts out to Dad taught us the type of manners that regular people do not get. And the reason why I say that is because everybody always asks my son, is his dad in the military, right? Because he's so respectful, he's so mannerable. And I've taught him that. And I know I got that from Dad, making eye contact, speaking to people, saying that to say that these things were considered respect to him. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed as I've gotten older, I've been raised to be the type of guy, which I still am. I don't care who you are. If I don't know you, I'm the guy that'll help your grandma out at the grocery store when she's trying to lift something up that's too heavy. Because I look at it as a respect thing. Ooh. I don't ask. I don't question it. But I have questioned this in the last couple of years. And this happens more often than not. When I'm in line and an older person comes around and they're trying to skip me and they're moving their little feet in front of me and, oh, I'm sorry, were you there? Yes, I was there. Come on in back of me, right? Yeah. So the first couple of times that I did it, I felt like, man, that's disrespectful. That's your elder. And then after a while, I'm like, no, they playing you. Like, it is possible for them to be playing you at their older age. And I'm big on respecting my elders. But I noticed that sometimes my generation, your generation, all of us, our elders, we have a problem disagreeing with them. Mm-hmm. We have a problem saying things to them that they're not used to hearing in a respectful manner, because we consider it all to be disrespect. And we look at this, they're even in the workplace, we look at their seniority as basically a shield to watch what we say and maneuver around them in a certain way that we shouldn't have to. And they also don't receive it the right way because it's an entitled feeling that they have. Like, oh, who do you think you're talking to? Like, you know what I've been through, what I provided for you, and all of that. And they give it back to us to where we feel like we need to shut down sometimes. And I'm not talking about having an argument, right? I'm talking about having an understanding and that bridge that we talk about for there to be understanding. Now, I know I've done it with my grandparents, my mom. I know my grandmother wanted me to do something. Shouts out to grandma.
You see this nigga, man?
4 on you. 4 on the door. 5 to be live. That's what I be saying with my class. I know that's super random. But with my grandma, she asked me to do something. I'm about to shut up, y'all. If you wondering, this is the moment I'm about to shut up. My grandma wanted me to I'm really about to wrap this up. My grandmother asked me to do something consistently, and I kept telling her respectfully, I know that you've raised me a certain way, but this is not going to happen for these reasons. I mean, no disrespect to you, but this ain't going to happen. That's less than a minute, even, right? And I felt good with that because my grandmother knows that you trying to let me go. I know what you're trying to do. I'm shutting up.
I wouldn't even say nothing. Y'all see how but let me give my brother another shout out. I can shout the same person out. This niggas be different people, but that's like 4 or 5. That's 5. And you would step behind me. Don't don't smile too much. Don't worry. He used to be a really black and white person. So a lot of this context that he gives, he would always think in his head, but he would never say out loud. So he is now like maybe the past, how long you think we've been cool? Like 6 years?
That's crazy that you said your blood brother. How long we been cool? The whole life.
No, I didn't say cool. I said cool. That's that's different.
It's true.
See?
You said the word twice, it means
it mean more. Like, Jermaine? Nah, Jermaine. I know him. That's the person I know.
Yeah, I'll say about 6 years. About as many times as you said a cuss word.
I ain't cussed I'm at 5. So about 5 years, okay. No, that's 6 for sure. Cause probably, yeah, that would have been about 20. That was probably the first time I came down to Houston.
Look, now he doing it, y'all. He trying to be so matter of fact. 5 or 6 years. Don't have so much pressure on yourself.
Okay, you're right. Okay, respect, Blackie. So when we was talking about with grandma and like the things in the shopping cart, I'm about to use another cuss word. My limit is 7. I'm about to be at 6. I'm stopping at 7.
We'll see.
Like, look, man, no, I'm not gonna do it. Just like Dr. Umar said, like with these young dudes, same thing with these old heads. Some of these niggas is just gone. Like I didn't. I already caught myself. Some of them are gone though. Like just like it's some young dudes you just can't reach. It was young, old that they grew up to be old heads. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not you just respect people blindly, but it's also not you gotta give me respect to get respect. It's like if you communicate, like if the old head try to scoop in and was like, hey, look, I only got like 2 items. You think I can get in front of you? I'm not feeling the best today or something. You most likely be like, yeah, go ahead, old head, or go ahead. You wouldn't call him old head because you don't know him. But
you would though.
I don't know.
Depending on who it is.
Go ahead, Grants.
I mean, no disrespect.
Oh, it might slip out. I think young me probably would have let that fly. Cause it's like, bro, what do you not look in the mirror? Like, I'm not calling you anything, you not. You know what I'm saying? So it's that makes me think of that. But then we think about a different type of respect. Respect, you know how people say, oh, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe anybody nothing. Do you consider that respect? Because people think about it like, I don't owe you a thing, you're a stranger. But it's like, why would somebody owe you something? Oh, they don't owe me anything. Okay, so why are you upset when somebody cut you off in traffic? Why are you upset when something like this happened? If you already know nobody owes you anything, but you expect them to have some type of decency or respect. So that's where we bring up, I think I was talking with you and Christian about the shopping cart theory. Where it says the shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test. A litmus test is like a scale almost, or like a degree measurer. Let me make sure for somebody.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing about degrees. You know, all I know is juvenile 400 degrees. I don't know nothing about no college degree, none of that.
So you crazy. So it's like a indicative test. So like a test that determines something. So the shopping cart theory is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. So respect comes back to self-governing. Do you respect yourself enough to do things and take care of others? That's
Mm,
something that people don't really think about. So this is what they say, or this is what the theory is. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task and one which we all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. You know how I'm big on right or wrong. I usually don't
mm.
see things that way. But I do think that that is something that's probably the healthiest option for everybody. You know what I mean? It says to return the shopping cart is objectively right. There are no situations other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return their cart. Simultaneously, it is not illegal to abandon your shopping cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as the apex example of whether a person will do what is right without being forced to do it. No one will punish you for not returning the shopping cart. No one will fine you or kill you for not returning the shopping cart. You gain nothing by returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your own heart. You must return the shopping cart because it is the right thing to do, because it is correct. A person who is unable to do this is no better than an animal. And okay, they started going in on that. I wouldn't take it that far. What's up?
So I had someone that I won't give them a shout out. Shout out to them. So they mentioned when I was on my way skedaddling to take the cart back,
Uh-huh.
thinking I was doing the right thing. Man, leave that there. That's what the workers is for. They
Yeah.
wouldn't have no job if you ain't push that cart back. So, and I thought about it. I was like, man, that kind of make a little sense. Like,
Mhm.
I might be helping them. They might be, how they got all the carts and then you go and you drop one off and they just look at you like that gift that I sent you yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah. Terrible.
right. So
So
if
we
I
didn't
left
put
it,
OG in here. Yeah.
if I left it there, that might even be easier for them. Right. So to what you're saying, is that necessarily a bad thing to leave the cart, or is it your intention behind it?
So there's two things. One, I would ask the person who said that, have they worked at Walmart or something like that? Because their jobs is to bring the carts in. It's not to go to each parking spot and grab a cart.
It
It's
is
to
though.
No, that's what the job became. Their job is to get the carts. Like, okay, for an example. Okay, for an example, right? Like, okay, let me ask this before. Are we being black and white? Like, yes, that's their job because getting the carts are outside.
Yeah, like in a technical way, because corporate does that. They'll say that this is your job description, but
But
they're gonna tell you to do more.
I agree. But this is where it comes back to the human side of things. I know what it's
Understood.
like to be in that position.
Gotcha.
So that's why I said it depends on the situation. If I see the cart person walking past and go around him to the spot where it's all the way back here to go put it back, I'm gonna either ask them, "Hey, can I get this to you, or do you want me to just go put it there?" So,
Would you consider that respect or courtesy? Or do you look at them as the same thing? I say that because I looked up the word courtesy, the definition.
and I would say courtesy is respect for me. So I
Okay.
think respect is the overall like I look at I look ooh, this is how I can define it. I looked at respect like this, like Nike, right? A brand. But in Nike, you got Jordan, you got LeBron, you got Curry. No, Curry's with Adidas or Under Armour. You know what I mean though when I say that, right? So
I do.
respect is like the overall theme, and then you got being courteous, then you got being kind, then you got being gracious, then you got being a gentleman. That all kind of falls under the bridge of being respectful. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
I agree with you. I would even go further and say it's the same thing because
Oh.
I'm looking up the definition and I'm not gonna give like the whole definition, but two of the words that are given are esteem, regard, and I'll even go with it was a word that I saw, consideration,
Mhm.
right? So then when you go to courtesy, it says politeness, right? So like those,
Consideration,
like you said,
politeness.
yeah, those are all up the same alley. So again, going back to if you haven't checked it, our last episodes about pity. I
We'll
think
link that in the description.
yeah, we will. That we don't have to do that in the edit. Okay, cool. So with those words, again, the tone that we use out of them are completely different. And I do believe it's to your point. Respect is at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to talking about courteous and all of that, that's under that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
it looks different, but it's still respect. You know,
right.
and so that's why with the shopping cart thing, that's why I have to ask the question, are we talking black and white? Because from corporate's level, you do your job, the carts are outside. Now we're not talking, we already know we don't want to think like corporate. So if we don't want to think like corporate, that means we have to respect the workers, meaning that, okay, for an example, in Wisconsin, niggas leave it. Damn, that was my last one.
It don't surprise me at all. I've been waiting. You know how you was waiting and I edited, cut that part out, and we gonna put it on the short. I've been waiting, boy. It was only a matter of time.
Oh snap! Oh, I'm finna
look
go.
At him. Hey, y'all, look at
I'm
him.
finna go
Oh,
be
snap.
chemo, brother.
Mother lover.
You sucker lover, you. So, man, so in Milwaukee, you know, it's cold than a mother lover, and so when people just put the carts, it be snow outside. You think the workers want to go to all the different spots, and maybe they do because it allows movement. Maybe that keeps them warm. But again, I think circumstances. I'm not saying like you gotta always go out your way to go put the cart back, but I mean, what you in a rush for? Now, if you in a rush, maybe you need to slow down. Maybe that's what that's telling you. You know, I really do believe in like time we created, right? Like if typically when we're late to something, unless it's like a job interview, why is you shopping before a job interview? Like that doesn't make sense. So you're rushing yourself, you know. So when we talk about putting a shopping cart back, I do think that that's a good scale of like how mindful are you with things? Like, do you look for the other person? And some people look at it like, are you just putting it back because you a follower? And it's like, what type of response is that? Like, I'm helping somebody else. If being a follower is helping somebody else in here, then that's okay. That's why I say being a servant leader is helpful because I'm serving people by leading. Like, it just I guess that's just how I look at it. Does that kind of answer your question? And like,
Yeah. I
okay.
think we're saying the same thing in that regard. I just have two understandings of it. So, like you said, when you put Nike up here and then you say Jordan Brand and all that, which I just watched that movie Air the other day. I know you're not gonna watch it, but I think you would really love it from a beginner's mindset of business and what you're going through right now, because it was really dope.
Nah. Y'all see
No,
how he
look,
phrased that? He know how to try to get me. He know how to rub
no,
it in for me because I'm gonna
no,
try to watch it
no,
now because
you're not.
that was a
You're
good
not.
phrasing.
You're not. You're gonna look for shorts first, and you might get what you're looking for out of that. And again, I'm not trying to persuade you to look at it because I was gonna explain it here. Spoiler for whoever didn't see the movie, right? But long story short, the guy was trying to get Jordan. Jordan was not interested in Nike. And long story short, when the guy spoke to Jordan's mom, she was like, look, everything you said was correct. We're going to go with Nike. He was like, oh my God, are you serious? She was like, yeah, but there's one catch. He needs to be paid every time his logo is on that shoe. Like Nike, that's cool, that's y'all. But anytime you put his logo on the shoe, he gets a certain percentage, so to speak, of that. And he was like, man, it's never been done before. Now, this is me hearing it in 2024, but this is her mindset back in the 80s, right? So she was like, every now and again, somebody comes through and just, tears up the system, disrupts the system, should I say. And we have this. And you're a trailblazer as much as you don't give yourself that credit, right? But you are. And then it just goes to show that you don't have a lot of people that do that, but you do, right? Well, let me not say that. You don't have a lot of people that publicly speak about this. My light just went off. Literally, my shine is gone.
Nah, no, it ain't. It's still there, brother.
I was about to say I'm still shining though.
Yeah.
But
I see
man, it just showed that it was full. Oh well.
I see the
Anyway,
chains.
yeah, it's all good. I still look good, But so when you mentioned Nike and the brands behind it, to me that's just a little crazy because I literally just watched the movie. I know the movie's a little old, but I just watched the movie explaining how that kind of constructed,
Began.
how that happened in the first place. And in relation to what we're talking about, like we said, respect at the top and then everything else below. So I guess I'm thinking right now, but I'm also about to ask a question. How do we, as a community, help one another understand the tone out of that word and not have people separated? Because some people do think silence is a respect, right? Some
But they don't
people think,
communicate it. That's the difference.
but is that a bad thing? Like because this is how people think. My intentions was right. So however you take it from there,
It's
you know what I'm
bullshit.
saying?
Cause if I roll no
Ooh,
foot, yeah, oh, I had to though. I had to because I do hate when people do that, man. Y'all see how he be trying to lead me in earlier? He said, I'm not trying to get him, I'm not trying to lead him. That was so I can lower my guard.
I
He
had no
playing
idea.
chess. Nah, he out here playing automatic chess out here,
I
y'all.
just celebrated, and he know I don't even play chess. He gotta teach me.
Hey, dang, bruh. It's funny you say that though, because I think that's bull. Because intent, like, yeah, your intentions don't matter. But if I roll over your foot with my car and I didn't intend to do that, shouldn't I still apologize or should I just keep it pushing?
Right, but I think that's a severe difference. I'm talking about people. You're talking about someone that is doing a universal bad act. I'm talking about someone that's doing something partial.
But that's an
And
accident. You doing it intentionally. You intentionally not telling me silence is your way of respect.
oh,
Like
got you.
you know that's what I don't know is information.
So can you respect someone silently or no? It has
I
to be
I don't know
communicated.
what I think you can if you communicate. I don't know what it means to respect
Then
someone.
no.
Then that's just then you being ignored. Like, what do you mean I'm respecting you? You're not talking. I'm like James. I don't. If I talk to me.
No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. Let me paint a
Okay.
better example.
Oh yeah. Walk me through an example.
Because I'm thinking of since I'm in a classroom.
Mhm.
Uh, shoot, I don't want to waste time, and I don't want to edit this episode either. So,
It's difficult because that's hard. Like I get silence as a like. Okay, if I communicate, hey, I need everyone to be quiet. Makes sense why nobody's talking. But if I'm talking, like if you're a teacher talking to the classroom and they just quiet the whole time you're asking questions and they like, yeah, we respecting you.
I got an example. I'm glad you said that because
Thank
I
you.
do something similar to that in the classroom. So, is this a respect thing? If I'm in a class and I'm teaching, and I tell my kids this, y'all so used to being yelled at that you don't understand when you're being respected, right?
Mhm.
So literally, when I'm like, all right, let's get ready to start, and everybody's still talking, they pushing each other, doing whatever they doing, and I just sit there like this, waiting for them to get it all together. That is a silent form of me respecting them still, right?
You showing them that you not starting until I think that's a lesson. So if that's how
Okay.
because it's like you're teaching them something. You're
Mhm.
showing them that I'm not starting class until y'all be quiet. But in your eyes, or let me ask you this, let me reverse it. How do you view it as respect?
What, that example?
Yeah, with you being silent.
I think to your point that I tell them that. Like I'm setting an example. Y'all are used to being
Okay.
yelled at. I'm not gonna yell at y'all, no matter if you're jumping across the room or y'all trying to fight or whatever, I am gonna be a little more verbal about that. But as far as y'all, this array of y'all just doing that, I'm not saying anything. One, I always know that there's a leader in the room that's gonna handle it. And then two, eventually y'all figure it out. Y'all get the picture, right?
So yeah, so you're giving them another option as to how conflict resolution can be solved.
Got you. But
So
you're saying that's not a silent respect thing.
I don't know what that means. So I can't say that it's not. So it's
Got
like
you.
when like because it how would you define respect? Because if it I think it said respect was compassion. I think that's what was in
You
there.
could say that
Because if that's the
consideration.
case, then you're showing compassion by not yelling, but in the same breath, another teacher might say you're enabling the behavior longer than it. So it really depends on how you're looking at the word respect. Um, yep, a feeling nope, because a feeling of deep admiration for something or someone, do regard feelings for the wishes, rights, or traditions of, admire. So, like, would you say that, oh, maybe it is, th- this is how I could look at it as respect. You admire them as young adults and humans, and you understand yelling isn't a way who they are as people by not meeting them where they're at.
That is what I do. I wouldn't have been able to articulate it like that. So, but that is true.
No, I think you did because you said it in a way without saying it. We got to the same house, just different. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the first episode. We talk about that. But, hey, question for you with that said.
Si, senor.
How do you feel about the phrase treat others as they want to be treated?
My brother.
No. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because you slipped.
Hopefully I
That's
said it
hey,
right. Did
that's
I say it
called
right?
hey, I'm teaching y'all. Nope, I'm teaching y'all a psychology thing. That's called a Freudian slip. He knows my answer already, so he said it by accident. If y'all check this and
Oh, okay.
rewind it, he peeped. So I learned this from James because I think I remember telling him this when we was having a conversation about something, and I was like, "Yeah, bro, you gotta come on, bro, you gotta treat people how you want to be treated." He was like, "No, I don't like that," and I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "Cause the way I want to be treated might not be the way you want to be treated." I was like, expound on that, my young philosopher. That's what I said. Expound on that, and he said, "Well, if I like being talked to, I think we just use the example of communication. If I like being spoken to directly and you like being spoken to roundabout, why would you speak to me in a way that I'm not comfortable with?" And I was like, that makes a good point. So this is the phrase that me and my brother says now. We don't treat others how I want to be treated. We treat others how they want to be treated because everybody is specific and everybody is unique. So you helped me understand that phrase a lot more because like he doesn't give himself this credit, but the way I'm able to communicate, the way I'm able to articulate, the way I'm able to really like take complex things very simple, he helped me with that because he helped me understand like, dog, you're very he helped me understand like, dog, you're very smart. Like I understand everything you're saying. You're missing this for people who think like me. So like it helped me be able to communicate better with our dad because it's like, oh, I'm talking about all this feeling stuff and he don't care about none of that. What happened? I'm like, okay, I get it now. I'm trying to explain this is what led to this and what led to that. And all that do is sound like excuses. And I would have never understood that because for me, I'm like, what do you mean excuses? These are reasons. And that's where we started bringing up the conversation. What's the difference between an excuse and a reason? And I'm gonna let my brother answer that. Ooh, we finishing strong too. These are some
Excuse.
strong questions.
I gotta look up this definition. The difference between the excuse and a reason. I can tell you why I'm looking this up. The tone, right? So excuses, and I'm talking about my generation. Excuses are things that you use to remove yourself from the actual point of what happened and what didn't happen, right? So you telling me this, but this is a mask to say that you didn't complete whatever was needed to be completed. So I'm still looking up for the word excuse, but that is the tone that we use out of it. The difference is excuse is normally used in a negative connotation. Reason is normally used in a positive, right? So the reason I was late is blah, blah, blah. Even sometimes then we feel like that's an issue. But excuse means attempt to lessen the blame. And that is, we are using that right. It's a justification. And it is context. I'm explaining to you why. For a lot of us, it's like, I don't care about nothing. Not nothing. I don't care about that. I need you to communicate the fact that you didn't do what you were supposed to do. And as me and you say, the best answer. And I'll use this example.
Me and you say
no. We say that phrase. I'm not talking about for this conversation, but we say that's our ongoing thing. Best answer, right? The best answer is you not just giving me an answer, but an answer. So this is what I mean by that. People that be like, man, I was late for work today. Well, for us, that's the excuse because the reason for that is not the light. Is you didn't prepare correctly the night before. You was out all night. You knew you had to be at work a certain time. You got up late. You left late, and you got stuck at that light. So, kind of like that. Where do you fix this? Yes, sir. Because I'm looking at reason.
I want to add some more context into that people aren't aware of. The reason I was out late the night before because I had a hard week the previous week and I was being intentional with trying to give myself some self-care. I actually went a little bit too long because I was trying to pour back into myself. That led to me coming home. Like all of that, it goes reason. So the thing that you said, which I thought was the biggest thing, is it's really lessening the blow, right? But we can say the same thing for a reason. The reason still lessens the blow. It's the person that's perceiving it. That's what I think the biggest difference is. It's like if I'm already thinking that you're about to give me an excuse, any reason is gonna be an excuse, no matter what you're saying. So but you said, how do we fix it? That's where the question comes in with accountability. Who's the person? Because if Mhm.
The definition of reason is cause, right?
So if the definition of reason is cause and the definition of
Explanation. Cause or explanation, and then the definition of uh
excuse,
excuse is attempt to lessen the blame.
and then the second definition is a reason or explanation put forward to defend or justify a fault or offense. So how do you find that fine line? It's the person. The So for an example, I take accountability now as a person. But back, you taught me this. Back then, I used to lie all the time to my parents. So everything sounded like an excuse because I lied. But if I was somebody, you were somebody who was more honest growing up. So when you told them something, it was more of a reason than it was an excuse. You just
Mhm.
didn't want to hear people mouth in general. So you wasn't even trying to give them a reason to begin with. So
Mhm.
that's where I think that's that fine line is the person is the fine line because James, you could tell me you're coming to my wedding and you could say I missed my flight, right? It ain't there yet. You could say I missed my
You
flight.
said it.
You could say I missed my flight. I would think that was a reason because you've never gave me a reason to believe you would have some excuse that was like unexcusable or something like that. Like,
Mhm.
does that make sense? But if
Yeah,
I have
I agree.
yeah, because
I
that's what I
agree.
but the question for you now is what if you've been with the person for so long and you've seen both sides where they can make an excuse, but they can make a reason? How do you
I I think to answer your question that you didn't ask me that I knew you was about to say, how do you cope with that? I think it's one of those. It's still like you said, it goes to the person, and this is why treating people how they want to be treated come into play. Because how are you receiving that? So if I'm saying it's an excuse and you saying no, it's not. Okay, then I need you to explain to me why it's not. And again, it depends on both parties. If you can't tell me nothing, then like you said, I got my mind made up. But if I'm trying to understand you and you explain to me why it's not an excuse, I gotta, if you choose to, go to that definition and say, oh, you know what? Yeah, this is reasoning, right? This is an explanation, not a justification,
yeah.
right? And the again, going off the tone of the word, justifications aren't necessarily bad. I
Hmm.
personally just think they're only bad when you're using them in front of the actual cause. You talking about all of this, but you was late. Right. I don't know if y'all ever saw My Wife and Kids where he hires his own son and he tells his son and the mom that he late. So he had to, he made it hard for him. He had to, I don't know, Junior had to either get on his bike or walk to work or whatever. And the wife is his mom is sitting there cheering him on. He gonna make it, he gonna make it. And dad is sitting there. He come in, what is it, like 1 minute late? Or like the clock is on the time they're
Late.
supposed to be there, but it's like seconds.
Uh-huh.
Like 3 seconds later, she was like, "Oh my God, you made it." He was like, I don't know if he said like, I had to do all this again. He was like, "Yeah, you late, you fired."
Yeah.
Right. So for that, you could use the excuse, I had to do all
But
this and
time out though. I gotta add this in here. That's back to the corporate mindset. That's literally what we're avoiding as
oh, I'm glad you said that. Do you believe that that is where the people develop that? And of course, we can go for slavery. We can go back that far,
no,
but
let's start there. Capitalism. Yes, that is where think about schools, timing, when like even the schedule of a 9 to 5, it doesn't work with our bodies physiologically. Like it doesn't work with our bodies internally. Like our circadian rhythm shouldn't be on this clock. You know,
Mm.
we can really work in 4-hour spurts, take naps, and maybe work another 4-hour spurts. And then guess what? That's still 8 hours of the day, but it's split up.
Let me say this, and I think we can talk about that next episode.
Yeah,
But you
because I
said
want y'all to
something to me.
subscribe because this is a good conversation.
Word. But you said something to me some years ago that I thought was hard. I never heard nobody say this. You was like, I think this was before you got your master's. You was like, after this, you was like, after this master's, I'm done. You was like, yo, do you know how long I've been in school? And I was like, yo, I never thought about that. So when you break it down, a lot of people ain't gonna understand this because they're programmed already. From K5 to first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth
K3 for
grade, ninth
me.
grade, right? So ninth grade, then 10th grade,
Ooh.
11th grade, 12th grade. All right. Then you go to college. How many years did you go to college?
I have 4 years to get my degree, and then it took 2 years to get my master's. So about
6 years in college. And all of that time, did you take any breaks in between there? I'm talking about like a school year break,
no,
right? So when you think about that,
just
the average
football.
person, yeah, we ain't even adding that on yet. We just want to make it a little more universal to everybody. That is a long time to be devoting your hours, at least 8 to 12 a day, just for school. And
Yeah.
then, like, when they get in the medical field or education,
Ooh.
they be like, yo, I'm gonna do 12 on, 12, 3 on, 4 off, 4 on. I'll be like, yo, that first day or two, you really just trying to get your rest back.
Yeah, you
Right?
really just trying to get your rest back, and our bodies are. That's something that this dude. It was a study. We only got a minute left. He said he did like I gotta send you the study. We'll talk about this next episode. Our next episode will be about sleep and the importance of it. I think
All
that's really
right.
something we need to talk about. Man, this was Hearts of the Community with
Right.
Jew and Jay, with Jay and Jew. We appreciate y'all, and y'all subscribe to this bad boy on YouTube.
Love.